Hi guys, I am Jutotep, the Goddess Astrologer and Alchemical Initiatrix. This is the Light Goddess Astrology Daily for May 28th through 29th, this weekend of 2022. I have some new cards to share with you. I'm excited! So I'm a unicorn freak. I love unicorns. I think they really existed, that the horn was like cartilage, so it's not bone. So like we never found it with the horse, like that looked like a horse and bones. I think it's a great theory. Anyways, wouldn't there be like an indentation or anything? But anyways, regardless, they exist. I love unicorns. I have Pisces rising, so I am very mystical and magical and amazing. And a mermaid, and like the mermaid should ride the unicorn. Anyways, can't wait to use these cards. Got a card already pulled up that I want to share with you. I hope you're having an amazing, powerful weekend. We're going to get into the astrology. And if you don't know, I work with women in divine feminine soulpreneurship. So women that are on this divine feminine awakening journey and doing a soulpreneurship business of sorts. I like to differentiate spiritual business between like soulpreneurship or between really in that sacred calling, that soul mission. But you know, we say words because we need to sometimes. So spiritual business, and really living the life of your real dreams that you really want to live, that we so often don't because of the programming in the culture, because of the programming of our past lives, of our families. So we don't. I'm traveling all over the country, for example, and doing my business completely in the road. I remember in 2010, when I first started studying online business, Tropical MBA was this company, and I think they still exist. I don't know, but I was following them back then and learning from them. And, you know, they were talking about being in countries all over the world and just on these beaches and with their computers and running businesses. And it was always my dream. And now I'm living my dream and I'm just traveling all over the country. In winter, I went to summer. And now that it's, you know, hot spring in places, I'm keep like elongating spring by going north to amazing places. And it's just the flower trees and the birds. And so it's like, where are you underestimating yourself? Where are you not living your dream because you think you can't? We have to look at these places in ourselves that are saying, I can't because of XYZ. I can't because of this and that and the other. We have to look at this. This is so important. This is how you're not living your dream life. And we all do it until we stop doing it. And it takes a journey. That's what we do in Alchemical Goddess, my coaching program, where I do astrological shamanic coaching to help you unravel this to live your vision, which might not look like my vision, but it's your vision. Where are you not living that? Because this Venus just moved into Taurus today, and I'm at 12 p.m. Oh, I'm at 12 p.m. Central Time on this. Okay, so that's like 10 a.m. Pacific and 11 Eastern. Anyways, and so Venus moves into Taurus at 0 degrees right here. And she, you know, was at that conjunction with Eris, the goddess of nope, I don't accept the status quo and all your introjects and all your bull and all the ways you say I should be, that A, I'm not happy, B, life's miserable, C, I'm flatlined, D, like I'm just unhappy in general, E, like not really doing anything with my life because I'm trying to do what people are saying is the thing to do and not actually what my soul is telling me to do. But I'm so scared that I'm going to get in trouble, or I'm not going to have the money, or I won't survive, or I won't be okay, or I just really just don't know how to do it and just not willing to take the courage to step into it. So that's the thing, is that the courage to step into it. Now that Venus has went into her home sign of Taurus, she's at home. And she's like, I'm home. My divine masculine is home, and Aries, Mars at 2 degrees. And 2 degrees is our feelings, but it's also this 0. We got to protect our feelings. So Mars, this Mars energy of action and initiation, and this sexual energy, this kind of erotic energy. But you might think of that just one definition of erotic. Expand the definition of erotic to the wind blowing on your face, and the sunset just luscious in the sky, and just all the colors you're taking in all around you, and just the beauty when you're in those moments where you're really living. And usually people steal them from themselves instead of actually living that way. And I know that it's not like you push a button and you got it all figured out, or you know how to live that way. But it's like, what Taurus and North Node step can I take today, and then take another, and then take another step to begin to live the way I really want to? And where am I not doing it? Like realizing how subtle fear is. Black Moon Lilith is also fear, and she's 27 degrees Gemini today. She's also fear. And she's where we feel fear. And it's right here in the truth. It's right here in Gemini of being in that useful, fun energy, because you feel like you're not responsible, or you'll be seen as a kid, or you won't be taken seriously. Fuck being taken seriously. If you're not living your real life and you have so much anxiety that, like, you're just in anxiety as like a way of life, not even realizing that there's a different way of life. Or if you're just so afraid to not be accepted, to be who you really are, and so you do these little small things, like maybe your tattoos and earplugs, but you don't really live the full out like expression of your soul and your personality. It's kind of suppressed. Or what is that for you? How does it present for you? And it's this Taurus is about like, what do I love, what do I value, and not doing anything that's not of your values. Taurus is simple, but everything has a shadow. Like we have to unravel, like, why are we not doing what we feel that we really want to do? Like where are we tamped down from being our wild, like, true self out there? Where are we just fearful? And that fear is so important to face. Mars, all this Aries is courage. Courage doesn't mean you don't have fear. Courage means you face the fear. But here's the tricky thing about fear is that often we don't identify it as fear. So then we never do anything about it. And we never face it. And we never realize the illusion that it is. And so then we just keep hanging out in it. And we behave from fear, instead of behaving from our power, from that empowered divine feminine, from that empowered goddess self, because we're in fear. And it's just this, like, where's your true beautiful self? And realizing that that true beautiful self is really okay, that emotions are okay, that we humans feel the full spectrum of emotions, and that people that don't accept that and love you for who and what you are, it's time to go. They're not your people. And I know it's like, well, where are my people? But that's what we just have to keep doing, is keep connecting and keep connecting and keep connecting. And that's what life is to disconnect from those we just don't vibe with, and to connect with those we do. And to realize that we deserve the amazing relationships with people who love who we are, the uniqueness of us, and that really value that and see that and honor that and think that's amazing and think that's cool. And Mars, this Aries energy, Mars at home, and then Jupiter expanding that Aries energy. And then Eris, is long-term Aries. And then Chiron, the wound of like not being seen, where we weren't seen in our childhood, where we don't feel seen in our life, but mostly because we're not doing the life we really want, because we're so scared of money. We're so scared of like like changing the way we live, and really like letting that disruption teach us all these valuable lessons about really living, which is what this whole earthly carnation thing is all about. It's not to be in some program. It's not to be in some program, in some like factory mill of humans, which is what the way most people live. And it's so sad because the soul is so suppressed. The souls of people are so suppressed. And it's just so sad at this state of humanity. So those of us that are even an inkling awakened must live our true soul life, to feed our light and our soul and that expression. And as light goddess, that's what you're doing here, is planting those seeds and waking people up, and really being the example yourself in your own life, and waking yourself up more and more and more every day to live that real life of who you are. And so if you think about the courage of this Aries energy, is courage. It just keeps going and it keeps going. This is the high octave. There's a low octave of Aries, is the ego and the posturing and the malignant testosterone. Testosterone isn't bad. I say it sometimes. I just want to like keep kind of coming into the messaging that I really is honoring of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, and us working together in unity and partnership, and not putting down men and putting down the masculine. Of course, women have the masculine within them as well, men have the feminine within them as well, but to really like the the negative, the low octave of Mars energy. And so we have to realize this high octave of Mars energy is courage, meaning that we identify fear, so then we can go, oh, okay, I don't want to make a decision out of that. I don't want to do this because of this. It's like, oh, like I used to get neurofeedback, and there's something that had been bothering me, and I thought, should I do neurofeedback? But I thought, well, how is this going to work with my, just where I'm at today with my brain, my nervous system, and whatever else? Because neurofeedback is changing your brain waves, which can change your nervous system. It changes a lot. So it's a big deal, and that's how I initially did a lot of healing back in the day. So I was thinking, but I was coming from this place of just fear that I would mess something up that I don't want to change, instead of going, okay, identifying the fear, I have a fear there, I'll mess something up I don't want to change while trying to change something I do want to change. Okay, that's just a fear, it's not true. Am I willing to go into it and see? No, I'm not really willing to get the consequence of changing things I don't want changed about my nervous system and my brain and the way it functions. So, okay, I'm going to look for alternative options, or maybe this isn't even a problem. It's the whole perspective, the way I'm looking at it. So I have to explore a couple of things. So do you see how if I stayed unconscious with it, and I was unconscious with that for months, where it would just be in the back of my mind, it would come up, and I would just do it that same old way, not recognizing that there was a fear there, and just playing it out like that. And then it would go back into the back of my mind and just always be there. And it's always there. It's always there. It's always there. And if you think about, we have 100 things like that, the way we're living like that day to day, all of us individually with our own things in our brain, where we don't identify like this is a fear, and all fear is illusion. So it's like, and just actually come at it really consciously, like, oh, okay, I don't want to make a decision from this place. Oh, and just move forward, and like be really conscious, like, no, I'm not willing to get the consequence that could possibly be what I don't prefer. So I'm going to move forward into some other alternative options, and just now this is done. I don't need to think about it again. I've made my decision. Bam, done. And you know what I mean? And so it's like, how many things are we living with like that we're just not identifying the fear? So all this Mars energy, use it positively. Also, I got the card anger, and I'm going to show you that later, but Mars energy is anger, frustration, aggression. We have those emotions as humans. They're natural, they're normal. Don't suppress it. Honor all your emotions as sacred. Anger is perfectly okay. It's how you express it, though. When I was a child, an adult, take a TV out of the wall, rip it out of the wall, and chuck it off the second story balcony. And right now, as an adult, I think it's hilarious, and people can be like with anger and even rage at like contained, where no one else is in danger around them and they're not being violent or inappropriate, right? And typically we really need to deal with it in a container, in a place on our own, or with people where it's meant to be there or something. There's a lot of transformational work people do in groups and stuff, or there's these houses you can go to and just break stuff, and it's set up for that. It's meant for that. But regardless, it's like, as a kid, like, that was scary, and it felt violent, and I didn't know if it was going to be turned on me. And so it's like we need to deal with anger in healthy ways and understand what's around us. Is there a 2-year-old around us? Is there, like, are we putting it in a container? Are we doing it consciously? And what are the healthy ways to express anger? Because anger needs to be expressed gently sometimes, and sometimes it needs to be expressed not gently, but in that container where it's conscious. And so there's somatic, exercises I teach in Alchemical Goddess to help my clients to release long repressed anger and rage, especially women, and what has been going on for 5,000 years. And so it's so important to realize that all your emotions are okay. And this Mercury is reviewing the past, where we can tell those stories differently and mine the past for everything we've been through. Doesn't matter unless we actually get the learnings, the lessons, and our empowerment, and retrieve our power from it, meaning that we're powerful now because having gone through that experience taught us so much. Like, we unraveled mysteries about life that we didn't get before from our own experience. There's this bizarre thing in society that you're just supposed to know how it works. Like, we come in to experience the soul incarnate, not to just like expect to know. And if you don't, you're an idiot. Everybody has a different set of 10 planets and different set of 10 signs and a different set of 10 houses, or 12 houses rather, and 10 planets, 12 signs, and 12 houses. So just for one planet like Mars, and the 12 signs it could possibly be in, and the 12 houses it could possibly be in, that's 144 different possibilities times 9 more planets. That's a lot of stuff that is variable across all people, making us so varied and unique as people. But instead of people honoring it and looking at life from the spiritual soul perspective, and everyone is on a spiritual journey because everyone is a soul. It's not that you have a soul, you are a soul. You have a body that your soul came into, that you're just inhabiting. The body goes away, the personality goes away. I got news for you. You're not your personality, but you came here to live that personality and that ego, the healthy ego, out consciously, like, and to live this beautiful, interesting self personality. Soul came to inhabit this personality, this life, but you get to play and create and be and understand who the real you is of that personality, not what society told you you're supposed to be to fit in line and to get in order and to do the job your parents wanted you to do, or to propriety, or to act out some life everybody thinks that is the way to act, to be. And that's just not the case. This Gemini sun and this Eros in Gemini and Eros has moved. Eros was in Taurus and Eros is in Gemini now, and it's that eroticism and for life, and that passion for life, And passion is what keeps us alive. Dispassion is that flatlined depression. It's that Mars energy turned inward on yourself, where you just don't give a fuck about life anymore. And you're just like going through the motions. And so then you do escapism behaviors to try to just feel any sort of sense of joy at all. Overeating, scrolling, binge TV. And then it's just not really life. And then it's just these different loops and cycles you find yourself in, because your soul, your sun, your heart, whatever your sun is, whatever, of the 12 signs that's in, is completely suppressed and not living its true vitality. Our sun is our vitality. It's our life force. And so the sun for the world right now is this Gemini season about ideas and youthfulness and conversation and chattiness and finding things and experiences and really exploring and wanting to understand and super curious, like just curious. And so I think I just want to leave it here with this weekend. This is Saturday. I didn't even go into Sunday. That moon will be at 29 degrees on Sunday. And that's again like at noon Central Time. Adjust your time zone. And that 29th degree can get a little crispy. And so it's just this moon moving through Taurus this weekend. It will hit the nodes. It will hit Mercury retrograde. And so it's going to talk to Mercury and get some information. The mind and the emotions are going to be communicating, kind of bouncing off each other. And if you've been suppressing or not like really narrating, restoring your past for your power and retrieving that power from what you've been through, instead of just saying the story, instead of just saying, oh, yep, okay, the childhood trauma and making the list, that's not what you've been through is the reason why. It's not just like making the list of, I had the childhood trauma and I had to do this and I did that. It's like, that's your PhD for the work you do in the world. What did you get from all of that? That's what this is about. Retrieve your power from that. Don't be sublimated and stuck here in this now, never having gotten your power from the pain, loss, and struggle you've been through. And the moon talking to that north node was saying like, hey, I'm saying but this Sunday, this weekend, it was saying, hey, destiny, but it's one steady step to build the garden, to build the house, to build the foundation, to plant the roots deep into the fertile, fecund soil, Taurus, and to just, there's this lassitude or this lackadaisical or this like lazy or slothfulness sometimes associated with Taurus, but that's only because Taurus is sublimating at the true self of that. Taurus likes stillness. Taurus likes, wholesomeness. Taurus likes peace. It doesn't like the bumping bass. Like, yeah, if you're at a party and it's in that context, but just when you're just like sitting out with some flowers and the dog and you're just reading the book and then someone's coming by with a bass every 20 minutes, it's just like this disruption to the peace. And so when Taurus energy, which we all have Taurus somewhere in our chart to a lesser or greater degree, might have very little, like I have very little Capricorn, but we all have that need in our life to some degree. And when this Taurus energy is suppressed right now, where we're all supposed to learn, this Taurus North Node is for the world, we're all supposed to learn simplicity, peace, stillness, honoring what's wholesome. The world's been in the Scorpio South Node. What's not wholesome? Strip clubs. It's not saying that it's right or wrong. The dark side of life is a part of life. But it's saying that we've done this in humanity. We've been there. We've been to the dark side. We've fucking marinated in it. We got it. It's like time to do wholesome Taurus. It's time to have peace. It's time to watch the ducks. It's time to enjoy the flower trees that are just this blue, purple, weird color of like strange raspberry tree flowers. Like, what are these things? I don't know, but they're amazing. And we just want to honor whatever the Taurus is for you. It might not be that, because I'm very Taurus, but it's something else. It's the five senses. It's however you do Taurus, which could be dancing or twirling or in the hammock or just on the lake in the boat? Or what is your peace? What is your tranquility? Where's your simplicity? Bringing that back and understanding it's okay to be wholesome. Women have to dismantle this idea that they have to be sexy to be okay in this world, to be approved of, and to be liked and accepted, and to belong somewhere, and like that men will like them. And it's this crazy thing from what we've been through this last 5,000 years, and particularly the last 100 and last 30 or 40 or 50, particularly since the, I don't know, 50s, 60s, that women like don't realize that, they have to give themselves the permission, but there's a lot of unraveling to do, that a lot of women just like you might be the sexy person and vixen, and that's just your natural propensity, but we're meant to learn this wholesome side of ourselves too, as humanity. And women particularly have dismantled trying to be the sexy vixen porn star type thing on Instagram with the pictures and the thing and the sticking the butt out. And how many times I walk into my gym and some girl is trying to stick her butt out and take a picture for Instagram, and she's like 20 something. It's just like, so she's so conditioned by the objectification of that she's doing it to herself. And this is what is so sad. And this is what we have to deprogram from society and be the example of that as light goddess. And, there's just so much here, right? And then with the moon having talked to Uranus also, it's this like, we got to shake it up. We got to be unique. Like, what's unique about our simplicity? What is our unique version of simplicity? What is our unique version of growing the garden, of the abundance, of the self-worth? What's your unique version of self-worth? What's your unique version of self-love? Like, how do you express your value and your worth in this world and stand in it so proud? Humanity has a self-worth issue. Humanity, like, to the level that humanity does not has insecurity, it does not have intimacy with other people, with our own partners, with ourself. Like, this is what we're shedding and changing. And so the moon will go into Gemini, and it's at these last degrees in the Palladians of Taurus, and pop into that last Palladian degree of Gemini, and 1 degree of Alcyone, and then move towards Eros and start talking to Eros. And so it'll be the emotions and the passion really hanging out together. And then the moon's going to go talk to the sun in Gemini, and they're going to be chatting, and the moon's going to be getting lots of ideas and information and fun. And so this is what's happening this weekend. Let's pull cards. This is a big weekend. If you haven't noticed, I'm talking about some massive things. Look at this in your life. Look at this in your life. So isn't this card beautiful? So my new unicorn cards. I'm so happy. I've been wanting new cards forever because I love my cards, but like I've been using the same 4 decks for like 6 months, and I'm like, So anyways, I've been doing good with it though. I've been getting more deeper with them. But this anger card, I love it because like the horse is glowing, and it's just like, honor your emotions, but it's like, how are we expressing them, and are we doing it in a healthy way? So, all right, I'm probably going to be using these unicorn cards for a while. Okay, we got flow. I haven't seen this card yet. They're not coming out great in the dark. I try not to record these anymore in the dark, but sometimes they're going to be in the dark, but the lighting's not that great when I do. Anyway, so this flow, like, flow this weekend. Let your spirit speak through you and guide you to wherever you can do, because the magic in your life cannot happen unless you flow. What is magic? It's Pisces. Pisces is flow. It's the 2 fishes, it's water, and it knows it's the shadow and the light, the 2 fishes. It, like, we know that there's shadow and light, and so flowing and knowing, just like that anger card, that like there's the darkness, and flowing with it, like, it's something I've had to, on my journey of the shadow, that I always try to like get out of it. And like there's there's discernment of like how to move, how to deal with it. But I've gotten to a point with my place with where I'm at with the shadow, when it comes of like, I need to flow and allow it to be, instead of trying to get out of it or think something's wrong and then doing everything that just exacerbates it and makes it worse. I've just got to love myself through it, and not think that anything went wrong or that I did something wrong. It's just the shadow, and it comes up, and it's okay. And that has been so massively, profoundly changing. So remember those two fishes, like we have the light and the dark, and that's just part of this human experience. Gentleness. This is such a beautiful card. Gentleness. And like, we often think we can't do gentleness. Men are like taught that that's not okay. But if a man's going to be with a woman, like, gentleness is so important. Like, you can't just like beat on her clit. Like, gentleness, that's gentle. Like, I had a little boy that I was babysitting a long time ago, and he was like 4, and he like fucked, like, I thought he fucked up my back because he like jumped on me so hard, and I was just letting him act like that for just a very short time, because I don't like I'm anyways, I'm pro with kids, but I'm like, but anyways, but I've done so much childcare back in the day, that I just seen so many families that just don't know what they're doing. Like, one parent's extreme, the other parent's too soft, and it's just like, oh my God, you're confusing the fuck out of these kids, and they don't know what to do, and they're just all different sideways, right? And I come in and I'm trying to give them the same consistent, firm, loving presence and expectations, and and it's just like, oh my gosh. And then they go back to the parents, and it's just like we have to unravel it every time I get there, and it's like, oh Lord. But like, this gentleness, that like, it's okay to be gentle with yourself. It's okay to want gentleness and want to be around gentle people. Like, we have the times where we want to party and be excited and all out there, and then we just have all this Taurus energy where we want to be gentle. We want to be treated gently. And if those people want raucous, it's okay, but maybe we don't hang out with them at this moment. We often don't think it's okay to just be what we need and who we are and how we are in every single moment, and how it moves and flows. It's constantly changing. Like, just that deer spirit. Deers are fierce, but for the most part, they don't seem like it. They just seem pretty gentle and compassionate. Freedom. So freedom is this true freedom. We think it's having the business, and it's not being like working for other people. That shit got me in trouble. And almost nearly half my clients have that same thing to unravel, that it's not having your own business. You just made a job for yourself. And so it takes a lot of creating freedom in the way you do business, which I was talking about on a podcast episode, Friday's episode, I believe. Go check it out on the Light Goddess podcast. The link is down below. On my Instagram at Peace Hotep, the links are there, really easy as well. I do great readings on my Instagram and post travels and my circus artistry and fun things. I'm an acrobat. So anyways, so like, clients have this to unravel, that they think freedom is the business. No, it's not. And we often realize that, like, why am I so unhappy? And I'm doing it for reasons, for motivations of have to. I got the business, I thought that was freedom. Now I think I have to do the business to keep the money up, to have the right income coming in, to do it the way people say, like, if you want this result, you got to do it like this, and this is the only way. And then you just make a cage for yourself, actually. Or people cage themselves in have to's around their family, or people cage themselves in have to's around so many things in life. We have to do things. We want to do things for I want to, I love it reasons, not I have to reasons. So often we're doing the things we do want to do, but we're doing those for I have to reasons, motivated by I have to reasons, rather than motivated by I love to, I want to reasons. So we're doing what we want to do, but we're coming from the wrong motivation. And so we're fucking unhappy. That's not freedom. Freedom is actually liberation from the mind and all the bullshit. And that's what I just gave a perfect example of, that we have these have to's. I have to do this business. You really do want to do the business, but you're doing it from a have to place. And so then you have a schedule you don't really like, or you're doing things before you're really ready because you're trying to push it, and you're just not really ready yet. And you're not really not ready. but you're not giving it its own divine timing and let the magic roll out and let spirit co-create with you, and you're pushing, pushing, pushing. Remember, as divine feminine, we need to receive and attract, attract, attract. And that is by being in that still, calm knowing of the divine feminine behind the mind, not pushing to make it happen, but attracting it to happen by being, by that gentleness, by honoring and hearing you and hearing what you need. And it's so powerful when you can be in this place, and it takes a journey. And that's why I coach and do the astrological shamanic coaching and alchemical goddess, my coaching program. It's the transformations are so powerful. So we got flow again. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Obviously, it's coming up again. So this weekend, it's about flow, y'all. And recognize when you're not doing it and you're pushing. And that's the key to getting back into it and allowing. And why are you feeling like you can't allow it? Is it because you feel like you're doing something wrong? Is it because you feel like you're going to get punished? Like if you're happy or confident, like someone's going to come and give you the smackdown, the spiritual smackdown we've always heard. I went by that for a long time in my life. And then I was like, why was I doing that? What's the spiritual smackdown? You mean the ego smackdown? The ego is always going to get a freaking smackdown. And it's not coming from spirit. It's because the ego is not what we need to live through. And it gets butt hurt. And it's okay. Our ego is not us. It's just, and we have a healthy identity, and it's like learning how to use the ego, and that's a journey. So beautiful. Just love sharing this with you. If you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. And please share this video. Please like it so that more women can find this beautiful content. Really appreciate it. And you can be over there at the website. You can be on the podcast. You can access the podcast from the website. The podcast is daily, and there's so much goodness. There's 370 some episodes. I'm almost at 400. So there's so many episodes. And there's an episode on rage early back in the podcast. So if that's what you're really needing to hear about, I'm sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you on the next The Light Goddess Astrology Daily. Have an amazing week.